The first letter appeared on a Tuesday. Harry stepped out of his cramped quarters aboard the Celestial Accord, the massive diplomatic station orbiting the neutral zone between human and Valrosian space, and nearly crushed the small envelope beneath his boot. He paused, one hand still on the door panel, and stared down at the cream-colored paper that seemed impossibly delicate against the cold metal flooring. No one used paper anymore. Not humans, certainly not the dozen other species aboard the station. Everything was digital, transmitted through neural links or holographic displays. Yet here it was actual fiber paper, sealed with what appeared to be real wax stamped with an intricate symbol he didn't recognize. Harry glanced down the empty corridor, then picked up the letter. The weight of it felt strange in his calloused hands, hands more accustomed to repairing atmospheric processors and recalibrating gravity generators than holding something so fragile. He turned it over, found no name, no address, and slipped it into his jacket pocket before heading to the engineering bay. The Celestial Accord housed over 3,000 beings from 15 different species, all working toward the fragile peace that had been established after the border wars. Harry was just a maintenance engineer, a human who kept the station's systems running while diplomats and politicians shaped the future of the galaxy. He liked it that way, anonymous, unremarkable, useful but unseen. He forgot about the letter until that evening, when he returned to his quarters exhausted from replacing a faulty plasma conduit. Pulling it from his pocket, he carefully broke the seal and unfolded the paper. Dear neighbor, I have noticed you walk past the observation deck every morning at 600 hours. You always stop for exactly 37 seconds and look at the Andromeda spiral. I wondered if you were homesick. Then I realized humans come from the Milky Way, not Andromeda. So now I wonder what you see when you look at those distant stars. Perhaps someday you'll tell me. A friend. Harry read it 3 times, a small smile tugging at his lips. The handwriting was elegant, almost artistic, with flourishes that suggested someone who had learned to write as a formal skill rather than a practical necessity. He set the letter on his small desk and tried to dismiss it, but found himself glancing at it throughout the evening. The next night there was another. Dear neighbor, today I saw you help that Thraxian child reach the food dispenser in the common area. You didn't have to. Most humans I've observed tend to avoid Thraxians because of the war, but you smiled at her, lifted her up, and waited until she got what she needed. It was kind. My tutors always said humans were unpredictable, capable of great violence and great compassion. You seem to prefer the latter. A friend. Harry's heart did something unexpected. It warmed. Someone was watching him, not in a creepy way but with genuine interest. More than that, they were writing to him by hand, taking the time to craft these messages in an age where such effort was almost unheard of. He began to pay attention. Over the following weeks, the letters continued. Every night, without fail, a new envelope waited at his door. His mysterious correspondent observed him with remarkable detail, commenting on how he always gave half his ration credits to the Grecian refugees in Sector 7, how he hummed while he worked, how he'd spent an entire afternoon fixing an old woman's translator implant even though it wasn't his job. Harry started to notice things too. He watched for anyone paying unusual attention to him, lingered in corridors, varied his routine, but he never caught anyone. His anonymous friend remained a ghost. Then on the 43rd night, the letter was different. Dear Harry, I know your name now. I'm sorry for being presumptuous by using it, but neighbor felt too distant after all this time. I must confess something. I am afraid of many things, but mostly of being seen. I have lived my entire life behind protocols and expectations, told how to stand, what to say, whom to acknowledge. But when I write to you, I feel like I can be someone else, someone real. You make me wish I was braver. Age. Harry sat on his bed, the letter trembling slightly in his hands. H, his correspondent had signed with an initial. It felt intimate, like a secret being shared. He made a decision. That night, Harry sat at his desk with a piece of paper he'd traded 3 days' worth of dessert rations for, and a pen he'd borrowed from the station's archive keeper. His handwriting was crude compared to hers, blocky and uneven, but he wrote from the heart. Dear H, you say you wish you were braver, but I think writing these letters takes more courage than you realize. You've given me something I didn't know I needed, the feeling that someone actually sees me. Not just what I do, but who I am. I look at Andromeda every morning because it reminds me that we're all so small. The universe is vast and ancient, and we're just specks. But then I think about how even specks can matter to someone. You've proven that to me. If you ever want to be seen, I'll be at the observation deck tomorrow at 600. I'll wait. Harry. He left the letter at his door that night, propped against the frame where his mysterious friend would find it. Sleep eluded him. Harry tossed and turned, alternating between hope and dread. What if she didn't come? What if she did? What if she was someone he'd never expect? At 5:45, he gave up on sleep and headed to the observation deck. The massive viewport dominated the circular room, offering a panoramic view of the cosmos. The Andromeda spiral hung in the distance like a jeweled crown, its spiral arms glittering with billions of stars. Harry stood in his usual spot and waited. 600 came and went, 610, 620. She wasn't coming. Harry felt the disappointment settle in his chest like a stone. He'd been foolish to hope, foolish to think that. Mr. Harrison. The voice was soft, musical, with the characteristic harmonic overtones of a Velrosian speaker. Harry turned and felt his breath catch. Princess Honeyshaw stood 3 meters away, her luminescent skin casting a faint blue glow in the dim light of the observation deck. She wore simple robes instead of her usual formal regalia, but there was no mistaking her identity. The Velrosian royal family was well known throughout the station. Honey was third in line for the throne, daughter of the emperor himself, and one of the key figures in the peace negotiations. She was also, Harry realized with dawning shock, the H who had been leaving him letters. Your Highness, Harry stammered, dropping into an awkward bow. I shouldn't have presumed. Please don't. Honey's voice cracked slightly. Her large opalescent eyes shimmered with what might have been tears. I'm sorry, I know this must be unexpected, inappropriate even. A princess writing secret letters to a maintenance engineer, but I couldn't help myself. You were the first person I've seen on this station who seemed genuinely good, not political, not calculating, just good. Harry straightened, his mind reeling. Your H, you've been watching me. Yes. She took a hesitant step closer, her fingers twisting together nervously. I spend most of my days in diplomatic chambers, smiling and nodding while people discuss treaties and trade agreements. But in the early mornings and late evenings, I walk the station. I see people when they think no one important is watching. And I saw you. Why hide? Harry asked gently. Why not just introduce yourself? Honey's laugh was bitter. Because I'm not allowed to just do anything. I have guards, protocols, expectations. If my father knew I was interested in a human, especially now, with the peace treaty so fragile, he would forbid it. And I'm too much of a coward to defy him directly. That's not cowardice, Harry said. He surprised himself by taking a step toward her. You're trying to protect something that matters. These letters, they matter. To me, they matter a lot. Honey looked up at him, and in that moment, Harry saw past the princess, past the politics and the title. He saw a lonely young woman who had found connection in the most unlikely place. What do we do now? She asked quietly. Harry thought about it. The safe answer would be to walk away, to pretend this never happened. But Harry hadn't become an engineer by choosing the safe path. He'd left Earth to explore the stars because he believed in possibilities, in building bridges between worlds. We keep writing, he said, but maybe sometimes we meet here, early before anyone else is awake, We talk. We get to know each other as more than just words on paper. That sounds dangerous, Honey whispered. The best things usually are. A smile bloomed across Honey's luminescent features, transforming her from a nervous princess into someone radiant and real. Then I'll see you tomorrow at 600. I'll be here, Harry promised. As Honey turned to leave, she paused and looked back. Harry, thank you for waiting, for seeing me. Thank you for the letters, he replied, for seeing me first. She disappeared into the corridor, leaving Harry alone with the stars and a heart fuller than he'd thought possible. The letters continued, but now they were supplemented by stolen moments in the observation deck, conversations that ranged from philosophy to engineering, from Velrosian poetry to human music. They learned each other's worlds, shared their fears and hopes, and built something neither had expected to find aboard a diplomatic station. Weeks turned into months. Their friendship deepened into something more, something that defied the boundaries of species and status. When the peace treaty was finally signed, it was Honey who stood beside her father, and Harry in the crowd of station personnel, their eyes meeting across the ceremonial hall. That night, the letter at Harry's door was different. Dear Harry, the war is over. The treaty is signed. My duty to my people is fulfilled. Tomorrow I return to Velros Prime, but I've realized something these past months. I don't want to go back to being just a princess. I want to be someone who can choose her own path. My father has agreed to let me serve as a cultural liaison, traveling between worlds to foster understanding. It's a real position, not ceremonial, and my first requested assignment is to the Celestial Accord. I'm choosing to stay. I'm choosing to be brave. I'm choosing you. Will you have me? Honey? Harry didn't write a response. Instead, he walked to the observation deck where he knew she'd be waiting and showed her his answer in the way humans had expressed love for millennia, with a smile, an embrace, and a promise whispered against luminescent skin. Yes, always yes. In the vastness of space, against the glittering backdrop of Andromeda, a human engineer and a Velrosian princess proved that sometimes the most extraordinary connections begin with the simplest act of courage, leaving a letter at someone's door. The end.